So, good morning, everybody. I'm Marie Jenkins from Advance Your Wellbeing, and welcome to our second season of The Secret Diary of Marie Jenkins 47 Plus. Now, today I'm super excited because we've got an incredible guest panelist, all of which are entrepreneurs in their own right. So, first of all, I've got Dan Barker from Dan Barker Studios. Morning, Dan.
Hello, morning Marie. Thanks very much for having me along to this. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Lucy Barkas from 3WH. Hiya, Lucy.
Good morning. Hello, everyone.
Brilliant. I love the energy, Lucy. I love the energy. And my final guest is Ali Bagley from Ali Bagley Coaching and also the Festival of Emotions. Now,
indeed.
We're going to find out a bit more about that hopefully in a little while, Ali. So both Dan and Lucy have been previously on our first season. So if you want to catch their original episodes, you can go onto our podcast channels and listen on replay or watch on our YouTube. But Ali's our new fresh guest today, so that will be interesting. So first of all, I'm just going to do a quick intro. So Dan Barker is a production company that creates content for you. They produce amazing marketing videos and photography that help you grow your business. They work predominantly in manufacturing, engineering companies and tech startups to improve their visual content. And as well as that, Dan is also a fellow podcaster with his Thriving Three Counties podcast, and he also runs Thriving Three Counties network events, which are on a monthly basis. So they're excellent. I can vouch for those because I'm an avid listener, and I also attend his networking events.
Thank you. And Marie, thanks for all your support with the podcast as well, because every Friday morning I get a lovely LinkedIn post from you saying which episode you've listened to, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
That's okay. I really take a lot out of them, Dan. They're brilliant.
Good.
So next on to Lucy. So Lucy Barkas runs a leadership and team development consultancy who provides coaching and programs as well as consultancy that work with leaders who want to succeed and make an impact. They're typically fairly new into their roles, so often take their first senior position, stepping up to be having an amazing, successful management career. She is also the author of a book, Leader X, which, thumbs up, guys, you need to go and get Lucy's book. But she's also another podcaster, and her podcast, is it Leader X, Lucy, am I right?
Yeah, Leader X with Lucy Barkas.
Fantastic. So yeah, go and listen to those. And then our lovely Ali, who's new today, she is a business writing impact coach who works with coaches to help get their books published. Now, obviously, my Burnout to Bold book came out in October last year, which Dan nicely covered in his podcast. But Ali was the wonderful lady who helped me get that published. So I give a big thumbs up to her.
Thank you very much.
You are a prolific writer in your own right, and you've got a number of books of your own, with the most recent one being Love Being the Boss, Hate Business. There it is. There it is. Fantastic. Love it. But as well as this, you've just recently launched a membership site called Festival of Emotions, which is am I right? It's an interactive website designed to help you grow and become more significant, both in terms of your personal and professional life.
It is. That's yes. Short story. As my basic business is as a business writer's coach, and like I helped you, I help business people to create their lead magnet, their knowledge share, their how-to, their support books, from concept through design, development to publishing. But I also co-run a company called Emotional Geography UK Limited, which is all about the methodology of geo-emotional mapping, which gives you really powerful self-awareness that helps you to grow and become more significant. And the website, the Festival of Emotions, is where you can go. You come and visit us. It's our home. And you can find out all about what we do. You can see all of the many, many services in the different halls. We have halls of communication, halls of leadership, halls of personal growth. And you go in and you can find stuff that can help you to grow and develop as a person, as a business person. And there's loads and loads of other stuff on there. It's something I'm very, very proud of. It's like my baby.
I've been on the website, Ali, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love it. There's so much resources on there. So yeah, well, we'll put all the details about the website in the show notes.
I think my life is all about helping other people to share their knowledge. That if I had to sum it all down, it's helping other people to share their knowledge to help others grow and develop.
Well, I'd say Lucy's also fantastic in that area. So you're in good company. You're in good company.
Good.
So on to today's In Conversation With for our Business Startup Week. I want to launch straight in and get to hear your views about our first topic. So the first one I want to put to you, Dan, is what do you think, what's your future predictions in the startup space?
So I think we're probably going to see a lot more people doing their own thing, really. I think that's probably the first thing that comes to mind for me is, we've seen a massive shift for people working from home. And I think now people can see that they can work from home and work remotely. I think people are going to then take that next step to doing their own thing. And the thing that kind of got me really thinking about that the other day, I met someone who's part of a company, and they have a kind of software section within their company. And he was saying that he thought a lot of the software developers were kind of working 2 full-time jobs because they were working remotely. They were now working, 2 full-time jobs. So I think for me, the next step from that then is, well, why not start your own thing? Why not go independent? And I think we're probably going to see a massive, we probably already are. I'm probably a bit behind the curve, but that's probably more of the future, isn't it? People working their own thing remotely and going from there. And I suppose the interesting thing will be to see how those people grow, whether they, stay on their own and essentially freelancing with lots of different roles and hyphens. He's saying that people are going to be hyphens in the future, so they're not just going to be a photographer or a designer or this or that. They're going to be a bit of this, bit of that. And I guess that kind of fits into that thing of doing multiple things from home. So yeah, whether they stay as independent on their own as freelancers, or whether they kind of grow that thing and become a slightly larger organization. That's answering your question with a bit of a question.
Well, I totally agree. And actually, it was Richard Hurst who I listened to your interview with, and he works in the corporate world, but he created his own Gifted Gab business as a sideline. And I think it'd be interesting. Here's one example potentially of people that may move to sort of create their own business in their own right. It'd be interesting.
So I was going to say, do you think that is going to be starting out as people doing a little bit of a thing on the side and then seeing how it grows, rather than leaping? I know there was a lot of leaping. I was a leaper because I got made redundant from corporate and leapt straight into what I'd always wanted to do because I was forced into that position. But now I think there's choices again, which there wasn't. For me, I think a lot of people are going to start with what they term as the side hustle and develop their own little thing on the side.
I think you've got to also remember that a lot of the younger generation are never going to get jobs. They're going to go straight into the side hustle as the hustle. So I do see that, we've had the mad influx of people during furlough starting their own business. And that's it. I also see that there will be the side hustles, but I do see that, the next generation they're just going to do their thing, which is a worry for the employers.
Do you think, Lucy, that education system and schools and things actually set people up well enough to just go in straight into the side hustle though? Because my worry is that people don't have the confidence to do that because they're kind of being educated to go into jobs and things.
Yeah, but bizarrely, most of the younger generation are being educated in how to be TikTok stars, YouTubers already. So actually, all of the jobs of the future, no, schools aren't teaching them that, but they're learning for themselves.
Gotcha. Yeah, interesting.
And
Yeah,
it's good
agree.
because there's so much information available to them. So, YouTube, for an example, there's so many tutorials on there. You can pretty much learn anything. And Lucy, I want to ask you a bit more about your view on that, because obviously your book, Leader X, is looking at Generation X. So what do you think in terms of that then, in what they're wanting from their careers?
If there are people who genuinely want a career, then they will continue down the old route, whether it's apprenticeships or universities. So, the proper careers that we think of, like medicine or law or engineering. Yeah. But for everybody else who doesn't really have a clue what they want to do, they will just learn from people who are probably just 4 or 5 years ahead of them, who are putting out how-to tutorials. Yeah. The people who are like 22, 23, they've been at it since they were teenagers. So they are experts now. So I think that there will be space for everybody, but I do think that the employers need to almost get with the program and realize that this huge talent pool that's supposedly coming through, maybe only half of them will actually want a job.
Yeah. And entrepreneurship as well. I've heard a lot about that recently, whereby bigger companies are supporting those talents to set up their own business within the business, which is a fantastic opportunity, I think.
Yeah, it's still quite new and innovative. I would say that it's probably more of the funky entrepreneur mindset businesses are doing it, or the big organizations who have run out of creativity and thinking, right, how the hell do we get somebody to sort this? So hopefully it proves successful and others will.
Yeah.
What my thought is, especially with young people, is there's lots of information they can get. There are lots of things they can learn. Where are they getting their experience from?
They're just doing it. They're just doing it.
And that you think they're building their resilience, they're building their mindset and all of that stuff as they go.
Yeah, the one challenge I will have is that they're not doing it out there in the world. They're doing it from behind a screen in their bedrooms. So that is the world that they're using. So the traditional skills that we're used to about going networking, about going and doing a big business meeting, that they haven't learned yet. But all the other stuff, yeah, they're way ahead of us. And I'm excited, but I'm also very nervous because I'm going to be a dinosaur very, very quickly.
Oh, welcome to the club.
That's why, I've had Ernie Boxall on from Ernie Said, and he also airs the same caution as you, Lucy, but I think what business he does is helping people tell their stories. That it's all about teaching them the communication skills. So I think I completely understand your viewpoint, but there are businesses out there that are pushing to make sure that youngsters can go and publicly speak, for example, or be able to tell their stories. Yeah,
they'll need to at some point. In the startup phase, maybe not, but at some point they will be a public figure or a public face, and yeah, so they'll still need us people to help them, hopefully.
Hopefully, yes, hopefully. Fantastic, thank you guys. So I just want to ask, my next topic is, and we've sort of touched on this lightly already, what sort of skills do you think will be needed to be successful in the future of business startups? Dan?
Yeah, I think so. You mentioned on the questions that you sent through, tech, interpersonal knowledge. I think probably, knowledge, is learnt, isn't it? And you kind of can build that as you go along with whatever you're wanting to do. Tech, I think, definitely going to be more relevant, like, as we talked about, working from home and, working remotely, and as you're saying, Lucy, people working more on their own and remote and everything. But I think the younger people obviously are better at the tech. I sound a bit old now saying that, but I was starting to notice that already. They just know how to use the tech.
I'm going to interject there, Dan, because I was speaking to Ali earlier, and she's completely learned how to write her own website in Squarespace for a festival of emotions, completely, self-taught. So, I mean, we can learn a few things.
Oh, yeah.
We can learn.
Definitely we can, but we didn't grow up with it in the same way that they're growing up with it now. So
I wasn't even allowed to use
comes
a calculator.
back to exactly. That comes back to then that leaves the interpersonal bit, and I think probably the best bit of advice that I ever heard years ago was don't be a bleep, basically, in business, and that's kind of what it comes down to, isn't it? And if you get along with people, and you can just walk into a room and talk to people, that's pretty much the main skill that you need, isn't it? And then if you've got some drive to want to do something and achieve something, then I think you can do that, and you can learn the bits that you need.
I completely agree. I think what is also really, really important now is the resilience for when things aren't going so well and you're not making the connections, you're not making the communications, you're not sure where your next client's coming from, your next fee is coming from. It's understanding that these things take time to build, that you can't just decide that you're going to be a business person overnight and then the next day the clients are rolling in and the money's rolling in.
It's not an Instagram story either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very, very rare. It's like I always say to my clients when they come to me to write a book, I say, are you expecting to become a bestseller and make a fortune off this book? Because if you are, you're going to be very, very, very lucky, because it happens to so few people. We need reasons for writing this book that are not to do with fame and money, and there are many. But it's about that resilience, that understanding the work that's required, that the stuff you have to put in. It's not all glamorous and that kind of stuff. And that's the thing that I think is missing with a lot of people. They go out and start their business, and then they watch the tumbleweed rolling by, and then down they go. And again, that's a lot of what the festival is that self-awareness, building those skills, growing that strength, that resilience to keep going in your business, as well as the actual knowledge that you need and the actual skills to do what you do.
Yeah, I've got to say, I don't think anybody goes into business thinking, oh, this will be easy, or I don't have to work very hard, because they will find out within a week that it is really, really hard. It doesn't take you very long to figure it out. But the one thing that I will say in terms of something that it took me far too long to learn, or the skill that I developed too late almost, was using tech to automate, outsource. I remember doing my bookkeeping on a spreadsheet, and I was filing away, and then I discovered there's a system for this where you could just take a photo or email them off. Listen, if you're setting up a business, go and find all of the apps and all the technology that just do all of that stuff for you, so you can concentrate on doing the stuff that only you can do, the value added stuff. And that's probably the tip that I would give in. So yeah, that app might be £20 a month, £30 a month, and you think, oh, can I afford it? Oh, can you afford not to, is my question.
Exactly. Well, that's what love being a boss, hate business is about. It's about signposting people to all those places that they can go to make their business function beautifully in the background whilst they do what they're passionate about. Absolutely agree with
and
that.
Use all of these wonderful startup consultants to do everything for you. So use this partnership. You don't have to employ people, but absolutely partner with people, because they're the experts.
Yeah. And I think what you said about the £30 a month thing is really interesting, because I think sometimes I can be slow to commit to an extra cost or something like that. And it's only recently in the last sort of 12 to 18 months when I've sort of come across something like that and gone, yeah, it's well worth it because it's saving me. But yeah, if I could have learned that a bit earlier, might have sped things up a bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can I ask
Absolutely.
you, Lucy, about, and Ali was talking about it earlier, about your methodology as to why you wrote your book?
Yeah, so why I wrote the book, sorry, you broke up a minute there. So you're asking me why I wrote my book?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. It's the best business card I'll ever have. So no, I was never going to make any money of it. But interestingly, the question about what people are going to need in the future, I absolutely believe that people are going to need to niche. There are millions of coaches out there. There are millions of consultants. So I needed to find a way that people knew, right, this is what I stand for. These are the people I work for. This is my idea in the way that I approach things. And if you don't fit into that category, yeah, don't come and work for me. So really it was about stop making me vanilla, be really clear about who I work for. And yeah, everyone I meet, I just give them my book. Yeah, here you go. Here's my book. Here's my book. Have a book.
It's good that we're talking about niche, because Ali, what have you got there?
This is nailing your niche.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a workbook for literally, it's a 5-step process for nailing down your niche and the reasons why you need it. The second book I wrote, and I absolutely swear by the fact that knowing exactly who it is that you're working for, the problem that you're solving, how you're doing it, getting that all down into literally one teeny tiny statement that says exactly what you're doing is core to everything that you do.
And Dan, if you listen to Dan's podcast, you'll know that Dan is a huge fan of niching as well. So you've got your niche on point, Dan.
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, it's been transformational for my business, really, when I had that realization and started committing to the niche. It's just, yeah, as Ali said, well, as both everyone said, you know who you're working for and who your target customer is, and it makes a massive difference. Actually, I did my first solo episode on the podcast the other week on the very subject of niching. So.
Ooh.
So we're all in agreement then, I guess.
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
We're all fans of niching.
Yeah. I mean, there are lots of different ways you can do it. There are all different methodologies for working out who your ideal client is and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it comes down to whose problem are you solving and why?
Yeah.
And
brilliant.
how are you doing it?
Brilliant. Right, I just want to ask you a quick fire question now on what, based on like Lucy saying about getting the tech that you need for your business, what would be your top one piece of innovation that you would suggest would be a game changer for your business? Lucy, let me come to you.
Okay, I've already talked about using your app, so I won't do that one again. So I'm going to say mix with diverse people because they will make you think differently.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, absolutely. Keeps your mind as an open mindset. So yeah, fabulous top tip there. Ali?
Similar, really, when you're networking and you're talking to people and they mention things that have worked for them, go and check them out and see if they're applicable for your business. You need to do a little bit of research and a little bit of in-depth looking at something to make sure it is right for your business before you invest, but listen to what other people are using that works really, really well.
Fabulous. Dan?
Yeah, I think, can I have two kind of parts to mine? One that I was going to say is just to have a solid system in place in terms of like your email and your calendar, and, like the fundamentals that you use every single day. And we've recently moved over to Microsoft, and it's been a bit of a learning curve going from Google, but I do like the way everything integrates together and just having that stuff just working without having to go in and, faff about with things. But the other thing I was going to say is kind of following on from what Ali said, and that is podcasts, I think, and sort of surrounding yourself. Because when I was doing my career change, I listened to podcasts, constantly when I was driving to work. coming home from work, on my lunch breaks, sometimes while I was working. But just to be able to virtually surround yourself with people that are doing the things that you want to do, and that sort of puts you in that room, like I think you were saying earlier, Lucy, about surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah, somebody said to me once, why keep making mistakes when you can find out from someone who's already made them?
Perfect.
Very true.
I prefer the saying of being able to learn and grow. Absolutely. Well, I think the one theme there for sure is about surrounding yourself with the right people that are already out there doing it and learning from them.
Completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yep.
Well, guys, I'm sorry the time has flown by this morning. And we've only really touched on a few of the things that we was going to talk about, but I think it's really valuable that we've covered the things that we have this morning, because you're all experts at business startup, and you know, if that's one thing we want people to take away is go for it, learn what you need to learn, surround yourself with all the people that you need to, that can help you grow, whether that's outsourcing or networking. But thanks so much for joining me. It's been a huge pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been great fun.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
very
us, Marie.
much.
Thanks. See you again soon.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.